he was in good spirits, and he was obviously anticipating this mega tour. I believe that because he was such a perfectionist, he wanted this to be a huge comeback for him. I don't know if he would have finished 50 shows, but certainly he would have done 10, 15, 20 maybe. But the anxiety and the stress and the anticipation to do such a tour was so strong that I believe, and I'm not a doctor, but ask any doctor, and any doctor will tell you that stress kills. And I think he was under huge, mammoth, gigantic pressure and stress.
Yes, and you,
and I believe that that's, yes?
May have had played a part. I mean, you knew him well. Is he somebody who felt stress?
I couldn't hear that, sorry.
I was just asking, is he somebody who is vulnerable to stress and anxiety?
Look, a person like Michael Jackson or any superstar, they're used to certain levels of stress of the business. But Michael was a passionate creator of music. He was #1. And he wanted to achieve the higher echelons of fame again, because he went through hell with accusations. He went through hell in court, and he wanted to finally shake that off him. And I think that the challenge of coming back in such a big way, he couldn't handle that. It was too much. At least that's my opinion. You know, I must tell you one more thing. Once when he was here in my house, actually in this very room, I asked him, Michael, are you a lonely man? And he looked at me and he said, Uri Gellar, I'm a very lonely man. You know, throughout his career, he had traumas. He had a struggle constantly from the age of 5 to achieve what he achieved. And through that, through sailing through his life, he finally had to face these ugly accusations, and that really devastated him. And I think that was the beginning of the end.
The paradox, I suppose, is that you describe him saying to you that he was a lonely man, and yet many people have said, those who've met him, that he was actually a very warm person when you met him in person. I know you and he had your ups and downs in your friendship, but just explain to us this paradox, how you could have someone who was quite warm as a friend, but also who felt so lonely.
I don't know. Yes, he was a lonely man, no doubt, but he was a humble man. He was a generous man. He was a loving man. He helped so many people, so many sick children, without the press writing about it. There was this conflict, inner conflict in him, probably all the time. And that, I believe, affected his health. What can I tell you? I want to remember Michael Jackson, and I believe the world will remember Michael Jackson, not for the courts, not for the scandals, not for his weirdness or strangeness, but for his uniqueness of being a genius in the field of music, the #1. And that's how I will remember Michael Jackson. And no doubt, music touches our soul, touches our mind. Every time we hear a Michael Jackson song, inside our mind, we will feel that affection toward him. And that's how I will end this interview.
And just one last question there, because I mean, that sentiment is one that so many of his fans all over the world are just deluging us with texts and emails today to say, what an incredible showman, what an incredible star, what a unique talent. Mm-hmm. You are in the rare position of actually knowing him well as an individual. Was that talent only visible when the man stepped on stage, or when you knew him in person, when you met him in person, could you get a sense of that superstar quality in his character?
Not really. Because when you met Michael Jackson, you met a very humble person, almost shy. It was hard to believe that this man brought the house down in Madison Square Garden or in many, many other venues around the world with 50, 100, 250, 300, 400,000 people. When you spoke to Michael, he was almost meek and gentle and loving and giving and caring. Yet when he was on the stage, he was a tiger. He was a powerhouse. He was a mammoth. It was just incredible, the change, the transformation of him being just Michael Jackson in a hotel lobby or here in my living room, and Michael Jackson on the stage of the world. And that's a talent, that's a skill.
And it is an enduring mystery. Uri Gellar, thank you so much for joining us this morning.